The famous ice channel in Augsburg, the home of the canoe slalom back in 1972 when it made its Olympic debut. It was on this very course. We are incredibly privileged to be able to bring you this event. My name's Ross Solly. With me in the commentary box this morning, Sophia Renesso from Mexico. And Sophia, some great racing already, but gee, we're going to be in for some good racing today.
Yeah, I'm super excited to watch this race and excited to watch what the C1 can do on this hard course.
It's been a really hard course. We saw yesterday in the early rounds of the women's C1, not one athlete was able to go through without a penalty, which is very unusual. And the finals of the K1 yesterday, there were so many problems for so many of the athletes. Have they learned anything? A lot of the athletes are back on the water in a different boat today, so we'll see what they learnt yesterday. The weather's perfect, Sophia. It's been glorious here, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been like perfect, sunny, not too hot, just like incredible weather.
What do the athletes think of this course? I mean, it's historically it's such a famous course, but I know that for a lot of the athletes it's also a bit problematic.
Yeah, it's definitely like a challenging course because the water moves in a very specific way. I find it kind of crazy that it was used so long ago and it's still so relevant and so hard. So it's kind of like an amazing venue.
They've just recently redeveloped it, of course. Last year it hosted our World Championships, which also marked the 50th anniversary of the very first time that the sport was in the Olympics back in Munich in 1972. Of course, Munich not far from here. It's less than an hour on the train to Munich, so we're sort of like a far-flung suburb of Munich, although don't tell the Augsburgans that because they won't be very happy about it. There is Jessica Fox. You just saw her on camera then. So disappointed yesterday that she didn't make the final of the K1. She picked up a 50-second penalty. She'll be out for redemption today.
Yeah.
But we're about to get underway with the women's semi-final. 30 athletes will be on the water this morning. From that 30, just 10 will go through to the final later this morning, and we're kicking off with Ren Mishima from Japan. She'll be super excited to have made the semi-final. She hasn't had a lot of semi-final action, so this is a great experience for her.
Yeah, definitely, and that was a really good start. She surfed that hole really, really well. She's struggling a little bit now, but that first moves that are quite hard, she nailed them.
What we saw yesterday, and Sophia, you were down in the athlete zone yesterday, and I'm sure you heard a lot of the athletes talking about it. This top part of the course, the first 9 gates, and here we were coming up to gate 9 here, so problematic, and very few athletes got through those top 9 gates without at least one penalty, and that's a big challenge, isn't it, at the start of the course?
Yeah, definitely. They were all talking about how it was super hard just from the top, like gate 1, and it already started being tough, so it's definitely interesting to see that not many clean lines.
Yeah. Some course designers, they have a very mean streak to them, and they set out a challenge, and there's not even a chance, as Sophia just said, for the athletes to get warmed up on a couple of gates, because gate 2 especially, and we've seen Ren here, she's picked up a penalty on gate 3, but gate 2 there was a lot of penalties there yesterday, so and she's missed that gate there, so that's a bit tricky there, isn't it, with the rock there?
Yeah, with the rock it's hard to turn ahead of time that well because you hit your stern. So it is definitely a tricky move. You cannot see that very well on the camera, but definitely tricky.
And now the pre-race favourite, of course, well, we've got the Olympic champion and the world champion both in this race. The Olympic champion is, of course, Jessica Fox from Australia. The world champion is Andrea Herzog. Oh, she's gone back there. Andrea Herzog from Germany, who loves this course, and she looked really good, Andrea, in the first round in her heats, didn't she?
She definitely did. But I think also Jessica is very eager since she didn't make the finals yesterday, so I think that's also a big motivation coming out of her.
Yes.
So.
Any farmers watching will know the last thing you want is an angry fox. I don't know whether Jessica was angry yesterday. I think she was very disappointed in herself. But, I mean, we just saw, didn't we, yesterday, Sophia, what this sport is all about. How, with Ricarda Funk, the Olympic champion yesterday, she had the race final in the grip of her hand. Oh, she's missed that gate altogether.
Yeah, she looks like she didn't even know it was there almost.
I think she almost
forgot about it.
And that's quite. And it's Lucy Priaulx, who's a very experienced paddler from France. She's missed 2 gates.
Yeah.
What has happened here? I think she must have just got in a bad line, did she?
Yeah, it almost looked like she wasn't going for it at all.
What a very strange situation. She didn't even look across at the gate. She just
she just missed it completely. That was interesting.
when she gets to the bottom and she asks the rest of the athletes what they thought of the 22 gates, and they tell her actually there was 23.
Yeah.
She's going to go, oh, what do you mean there were 23 gates?
It's weird because she doesn't look out of the run. She still looks like she's very much
missed
trying.
Another one. She's just missed another gate there. So this is turning.
Yeah.
This is turning a bit ugly, unfortunately, for Lucy from France.
I think it just goes to say how challenging the course, the gates are set, since she is a very strong paddler. And
yeah, but this has not gone her way. What I was saying before, Sophia, yesterday, we just saw how tough this sport can be, and there's another couple of gates miss. She's just thrown it in a towel here, unfortunately. She really needs to work to finish this with a bit of positivity, because look at that, 5 missed gates. That's not what the race doctor ordered. How quickly an event can change. Ricarda Funk had the race in the palm of her hands yesterday, and then had one mistake down the bottom, blew it all together.
And that move she's probably done 1,000 times. It's like one of the most common moves in Augsburg. I can't even begin to imagine what she must felt like.
I'm sure she would have been dreaming about it last night.
Yeah.
Now, Vicky, Vicky's gone. What's she going to do? She's going to try and get back up. Victoria Dobrotowska from
she's
Ukraine.
She's always been a fighter, so she's getting it.
Anyone from Ukraine, you do not stand in their way, because they've shown us their fighting spirit over the last 18 months or so, and it's just wonderful to see Vicky and Victoria Oos, who was so good in the K1 and will be in the C1 a little bit later on this morning, out here competing and really giving a little bit of hope and a little bit of joy to a country which hasn't had a lot to get excited about in the past 18 months or so. So our hearts are with the paddlers from Ukraine, and great to see Victoria out.
In kind of her home course now. She lives here, so it's, I think she knows it now better than...
Yes, she's of course relocated. Well, was sort of paddling here a bit beforehand, but then relocated obviously once the war began. She's having a few problems there on a couple of those gates. It really is tough. It was tough for the kayak, so you can imagine for the canoe it's going to be even
harder,
even trickier. But we've got 30 athletes here, 30 athletes vying for those 10 spots in the final. First World Cup of the season. For some of these countries, this event here will be part of their selection process for World Championships later this year. That's the event everybody wants to get to. And for Sophia, I always look at athletes like yourself from Mexico. You're often the only Mexican athlete at an event. You don't need to stress about getting selection for the World Championship team, because you are the team.
Yeah, definitely. We did have selections this year, and hopefully we will be like around 5 paddlers.
Fantastic.
But yeah, it's a different battle, You're not battling to get on the team, but different kind of battle.
Yeah. Now, Victoria Wolfart, who picked up a bronze medal yesterday, broke a long drought for Vicky Wolfart in World Cups with a bronze in the K1. I think she was a little bit shocked to have picked up that bronze yesterday, because her time wasn't great, but it just showed how tough that final was.
Yeah, definitely, and she had a good run. I think she was happy with it. She felt like she had some mistakes she talked about, but it was still a solid run, so we'll see what she can do in the C1. It looks like she's going pretty smooth at the moment. Yeah, 3 touches already, but we've seen with the early runners on the course, it's very, very hard already to go down clean. But she's gone deep there as well, Vicky, unfortunately. But no 50s, which is good for her, and she's reasonably fast. Yeah, I think whoever is able to start doing that move without having to go below the gate, it's gonna take out a little bit of time there.
So I was mentioning, so for a lot of the countries, this event and some of the World Cups, it varies for different countries what their selection process is, but eventually they'll get to a situation where they will be able to decide who represents them at the World Championships at Lee Valley. And then, of course, that is where the quotas are earned for the Olympics next year. As Vicky comes down to cross the line, she's going to be our new race leader by a lazy 18.62 seconds with 3 gate touches. So, look, Vicky learned yesterday, you're never out of it.
Exactly.
And she's now put that time down, and everybody's got to try and beat that time. Now, the first of our Brazilians, Omar Estacioneta, is on the court. You would have raced against Omar a lot in the Pan Ams, I'm sure.
Yeah, we definitely have. I think she's paddling really strong this year, and it's really cool to watch South American country be so strong like Brazil. Definitely something to look up to.
So what's on your calendar this year, Soph? You've got World Cups here, obviously, but what else have you got on your schedule for 2023?
Well, I've got Pan Am Games, which are definitely an exciting event and very important. So I'm looking forward to that. They're at the end of October.
In Chile?
Yeah, in Chile.
What's the course like there, the slalom course?
I have no idea yet.
Isn't that exciting though? You get to go to a new place,
yeah,
a new
to
course.
a new place, to a new course. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. She's gonna be there as well, Omida. So
yes,
I'm sure she's looking forward as well.
It's a busy calendar. So if you go to all the events you've got circled in your diary for this year, how many events will you do all together in 2023?
Yeah, a lot probably. I already did Pan Am Championships this year. Trial, yeah, a lot. Around, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 events. Yeah.
So over now, she's got the one touch, and as you saw in the last split, she was up a little bit on Vicky Wolfart's time. So if she can stay solid at the back half of this race, which she looks like she's doing at the moment, the bottom part of the course is challenging, but this is the cross here is the one I think a lot of the athletes are struggling with. The water's pushing them down a bit too deep.
Yeah, she's definitely having a solid run for this course.
So she's not going to be the fastest, but she'll slip into second on the standings at the moment. So
yeah,
good learning experience for her. She's been paddling for a couple of years now, and every time you go on the course, you learn new things about yourself, of course. And she'll be reasonably happy there. That's okay. She's got a smile. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Okay, now the first of our Germans, Nelly Bain, is on the course. 2022 European Championships, she finished 9th, and solid in a solid team. This would be a big effort for her if she can get through to the finals in front of a home crowd. She'd be pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
And gate 2 again, so there's a touch there.
Yeah. That gate is just so tough with the surf, having to control the bow to enter the eddy and not pitoning the wall as well as not touching the gate. Definitely a tricky move.
So and a touch on gate 4 as well, so 4 seconds in penalties already. But there is parts of the course that you can make up a bit of time if you get the angle right. A lot of the athletes going behind this gate and then coming around.
Yeah, I think it's a super tight move. It almost looks like that was exactly her plan, and it looked faster since she went around it pretty well.
So Vicky Wolfart is our clubhouse leader at the moment from Austria. She has the fastest time. You would think once we get down to the top 10 that time shouldn't present too many problems, but we know what happens on this course. So Vicky just keeping her fingers crossed at this stage that she can hold on and make it through to another final, two finals in a weekend. You'd have to be pretty happy with that. You're doing the kayak cross tomorrow?
Yes, I am.
You're looking forward to it?
Definitely. I think it's going to be fun.
And a lot of new athletes doing it as well. People are now, because it's in the Olympics, they're all having a crack at it. It's going to be a bit crowded tomorrow on the water, isn't it?
Definitely. I think everybody's onto it now, and that's cool to see.
Now, Evie Liebfarth from the United States was very disappointed with her kayak.
Yeah.
And needed 2 runs to get into the canoe semis as well. So not at her best so far this weekend.
No, but I think she's going to be very excited on this run. It looks like she's putting it all down.
We know what she's
very
again,
smooth.
another athlete that you would see a lot of, Soph, on the American trail.
Yeah, definitely. I raced team trials of the U.S. this year as well, so I got to see them run their trials, and that was also an exciting moment for sure. She is so strong. She can do so many races so well.
And she's got such a unique style, hasn't she? This,
Yeah.
this paddling action of hers. How would you describe
Definitely.
it?
I think it's been, you learn to love it. I actually really, really enjoy watching her. Now I think she's got a very unique style and she makes it work in a way that nobody else does. And it's cool to see that you don't have to be one way to be fast on the course. It's cool to watch her.
I think when she first burst onto the scene as a 15-year-old, she'd been around a bit longer than that, just popping up here and there before she turned 15, because she's basically lived most of her life in a canoe or a kayak. And I think a lot of people thought, oh, this style can't work. This can't be sustainable. And then all of a sudden she went out and, see there, that water's pushed her right down, and it's hard work to get back there, isn't it?
Yeah, that is super hard work. You're already tired at the end of the course, and you know that you can't lose time.
But she still should be, she's not going to be the fastest. She'll slip into second position maybe. Yeah, or third now, so she's going to be disappointed with that. It was a good run up until that, the same gate that Ricardo Funk had trouble with yesterday.
Exactly. It's a really, really hard move. She was having a solid run, but we'll see if that's enough.
Yeah, Elena Borgi from Italy is out on the water. Oh, so many gates up the top can cause problems, and she's got stuck in the water there a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So a touch there for Elena Borgi. Hasn't come up on the screen, but yeah, under 23 world champion from last year. So she had a really good year last year, had some great results.
Yeah, she's a very good athlete. It's crazy to see them. They're so young and still representing in the senior category so well.
Exactly. Now you're based in DC now, eh? Washington DC.
Yeah, I'm sort of based there. Yeah, I try to train there with PWRC, the club, and I'm really thankful I get to do that.
Are you enjoying it? What's the paddling scene like there?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It's a fun club, and the coach Sylvan, I think he's amazing. So I'm thankful I get to be coached by him, and it's a fun place there. I have good friends and nice river.
I mean, call me a nerd, but I actually love Washington DC. There's a feel to it that I think is pretty special, and so much history there, and some of the greatest museums in the world on your doorstep.
Yeah, really cool museums.
Fantastic. The Smithsonian Institute, all those are just wonderful. So let's see what the time is now. Crossing the line for Elena Borgi. She's into second. I'm not sure what... she's angry with herself, or maybe wondering where she got the 4 touches from. I saw definitely they were pretty clear, I thought. But
yeah, and that was a funny.
Yeah. Emanuela Luknerova from Slovakia. Very strong paddling nation, Slovakia. We know that they'll always put on a good show. A lot of depth in their team. And a silver medalist from 2021 on her home course. I think it was. Actually, no, I can't remember where that was in 2021. Memory, anyway, it's not important. But she won a silver medal anyway. 50-second penalty, though, for Emanuela on gate 8. Just hit the pole with the front of her boat. And gee, we're still struggling, Soph, to get a clean run. We haven't had one yet.
No. It looks like whoever gets a clean run is going to make a big difference on that time board.
We did not have a single clean run in the heats yesterday.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Which is quite amazing.
That is really amazing, yeah. And it's so important to have a space on those top offsets. It just looks like you're a tiny bit late and it really costs you a penalty or a 50-second penalty.
Yeah.
So.
If you were still sitting waiting to go and you knew that everybody was having trouble again, I mean, would you have the mindset where you could actually take your foot off the pedal a little bit and just try and be clean try and stay penalty free, because you would know that if you've got the speed, that would be enough to get you through?
Totally, I think so. I think being clean on the gates, I think it's one of the biggest goals of everybody, at least in my head.
Yeah. And if you know that nobody else has been able to do it, then it opens the door for you, doesn't it?
For sure.
To get an easy way. I know it's a silly word, there's no such thing as an easy way into a final. But when you look there at the leaderboard at the moment and you see these penalties being racked up by everybody, you've got to think, okay, I can just be careful and I can get through to the final.
That does sound easy.
Yeah, well, it does sound easy. I don't know why anyone doesn't try it.
I wonder why.
Here is a young lady who doesn't know the meaning of the word easy, because even if there was an easy way, she would still be throwing everything at her run. She really, Anna Satilla. She just puts it out there, she cuts the edges, and when it comes off, it is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Agreed.
But sometimes she cuts it so fine that she attracts the ire of the judges.
For sure, she's a very risky paddler. I think that's also cool to be.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It's exciting, and I think it's cool because she knows that if it works, it works. So I think it's a good way to go about it instead of trying to always be on the safe side.
Yeah. I mean, from a purely selfish point of view, from a commentator's point of view, I love watching her because you never know what you're going to get, and you know that at the end of that run you're going to feel absolutely exhausted just watching her, and she's hit the pole there and gone a little bit deep there. So, but she's still fast.
Still fast, yeah. That looks still fast, but yeah, definitely not her plan.
So Anna Satilla, who's been to 3 Olympic Games already, and she's still a young lady. She made her debut as a teenager in London in 2012. She went to Rio, she went to Tokyo. She'll be eyeing off, of course, a 4th Olympics next year in Paris. She does it all. She does the C1, she does the K1, and she does the kayak cross, so she always has a busy weekend.
Yeah, you can always see her just paddling so well the boat and pushing on every category.
So she's going to be the quickest. We've got a new race leader.
Barely.
Oh, she's not sure about one of the penalties. I think it might have been there, Anna. I think you hit it with your face, so it's not. But look, it's always okay for the athlete just to put a bit of doubt in the mind of the judges.
Yeah, for sure.
The judges go, oh, did we get that right? And they'll go back and check. Eva Hosova, who seems to have been around forever, but she's still just 21 years of age.
Yeah, still really young.
And from a strong paddling family. Look at that, penalties on 3 of the first 4 gates.
Getting a review on 4 too.
Yep.
We'll see what that looks like.
So over the winter we had athletes spread all over the world to different, we know some people went to Reunion, where other people went to Dubai, some people went to New Zealand, some went to Australia. Where did you spend the winter? Sorry?
Yeah, I was in Mexico in the winter working.
Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be?
It was
God's own country.
Yeah, it was lovely to be home. Definitely I had to get off social media a little bit because I couldn't help but feel a little jealous of everybody being in the Reunion Australia. I was like, I cannot look at this anymore.
Did you do a lot of training, or did you just take a bit of time off? How was your winter?
I did as much training as I could and a lot of river running, but it's definitely tough in Mexico. We don't have the infrastructure or anything, and I spend a lot of time working. But
is it changing there, Soph? I mean, when we first met you, oh goodness me, many years ago, when you first at that very first development camp that we had, that I met you there, and you were telling me back then about how there was very little back in Mexico where that you could work with. Has it changed? Is it improving at all?
Well, you would think after. We'll see if this is fast.
Oh,
very
yes.
Nice.
Well done, Eva. That's a great bottom half of that run. After a shaky start, she's managed to slot in now as the. Nobody's looking happy at the bottom, but.
Yeah. I think everybody's looking a bit confused.
Yeah. Well.
Seems like it's just so tough. You don't know if you did well or not, almost.
Now, Marta Bertoncelli, who had her first senior K1 semi-final yesterday, she was over the moon because she's normally a C1 paddler, and she's having a crack at the C1 at the K1 this year, and was over the moon to have made the semis in the K1. This is her chosen event, though. she went to the Olympics. She's very much an improved paddler, and she would expect, I'm sure, to be in the running for a final here today, given the standard of the field and the quality of the course. This is when the best athletes rise to the top, and Marta, I think, would be now, after her season last year, would be considered to be one of the top 10, you would have to think, in this event.
I think she's doing exactly what we talked about, trying to be just taking your time and clean. She's doing it pretty well.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
Yeah.
It's one of the few athletes who've managed to go direct on that gate, so that's picked up a bit of time for her. Yeah,
for sure.
Well,
she's got a 2-second penalty already.
Yeah. But you can see there's no panic. She's not trying to do anything outrageous. She's just trying to make sure that she gets through the gates. Look at that. Careful does it. I like this approach. It's unusual for an Italian. They're normally pretty crazy.
Yeah.
They're crazy brave, the Italians. So Marta just giving us a bit of a lesson here in discipline.
Yeah, you can tell that she's just concentrated, trying to be in the middle of the gate, super safe, and it's looking really good.
Yeah, she's done this nicely. She'd be very happy with that. She's going to be a new race leader by a second or two. Yes, look at that. Well done, Marta. She made the right call there, I think.
Definitely, that was a really nice run.
Yep. And now she's put a little bit of pressure on the athletes still to come, because the time is now sneaking down to something a bit more challenging. As we see Laura Pellica-Chica from Andorra out on the course.
Yeah, I think she's a very good paddler from Andorra, and I think this might be one of her first semi-finals at a World Cup.
Ooh, that might be a 50. I'm not sure where the pole. Oh, Laura. She's missed that gate as well, and that's hard to get back to that one. I think, they've given her a 50. Unfortunately, she just hit it and it went the wrong side of her head. So she's, oh no, she's all right. She'll come back again. It's fine.
It's a little review, but it looked a little bit tight on the head. It's kind of crazy how that gate, number 8, normally you can go back up for a gate, and that's just one of those that you get it or you don't.
Sorry, we were talking about infrastructure and how things are in Mexico now.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of improvements towards just between the athletes, and how we've created a couple clubs, and that's gone better, but definitely you would think that after results and everything, the federation would be a bit more interested, and sadly it's still a work in progress, and definitely a tough path that we're still going through, and that's definitely hard to be part of, since we do it all on our own, trying as hard as we can, and then you get a little stopped by, but it's definitely a work in progress, and I think at some point it's going to get better.
Yeah, and so if we need to remind people, Laura's given up on this one, I think. She's thrown in the towel, unfortunately. Is she going to try and get back and do these gates? She's thinking about it. She might look here and think, oh no, bugger that for a joke. You are in many ways you're a pioneer for Mexico. I mean, there have been very few slalom paddlers before you, and you've made a bit of history already for your country.
Yeah.
So in many years to come, they'll thank you. You know that. They'll look back and they'll say thank you so much for making a path for us.
I hope so. Sometimes I get in trouble for making a path. So hopefully in some years I can see that it was all worth it. It's kind of hard to be to try to be an elite, top athlete, be racing the whole season, and at the same time try to develop. It's very hard to do both. So I've tried to concentrate on my racing, and it's worked out well, but it definitely means I want to go back at some point and just work on the development part.
Well, we're certainly very happy to have you here, and you're a great success story for the ICF with your progress through our development camp and where it's gone from there. And by the way, you've also become a very good commentator as well. Oh, Naomi Fox. A little bit of doubt there, so she goes back to do it again. But Naomi's paddling really well. She's had a good season down in Australia and over the Australian summer. Of course, she's made the last 2 World Championship finals. Her big dream is somehow she just wants to get to an Olympic Games and compete there with her sister. And with Kayak Cross now on the on the program. There is that opportunity if things fall right for her to be able to get there. Oh no, and there's a 50. I think that's a 50.
I think so too.
Unfortunately for Nomi, that's going to be, and it's, she got a 50 on gate 8 as well. So
yeah, we couldn't see it. It was the camera wasn't the other paddler, but
yeah, no, she's
sad.
She's not happy at all. Unfortunately, maybe she's got a smack in the face somewhere. Did she? She looks like she might have got hit by a pole.
Yeah,
it does happen. It does hurt a little bit too, doesn't it, Soph, when you get smacked in the gob?
Quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
They don't look that tough, but they are quite heavy. It really hurts.
Yeah. So Alexandra Stuck now from Poland is on the course. She won a mixed C2 gold medal a couple of seasons ago. It might have been in Rio, I think, at the World Championships that we had after the Olympics there. And now paddling in the C1 here, a couple of touches up the top, clear touches.
A bit hectic, but she managed to be in the gate and just get a 2-second penalty, so that's better than a 50. So swung the right way.
Yep. So let's see what approach Alexandra takes, because the time to beat at the moment, the top time, is Marta Bertoncelli's time of 1:20. Now, just to put that into perspective, for the canoe yesterday, the top time yesterday, Andrea Herzog's time was 1:05.
Yeah.
So, and you know, more than 20 athletes.
She's really struggling here.
Oh dear, she got wedged there between the pole and the rock.
She got stuck on the eddy line there and just was trying to sweep out, but just couldn't pull the boat back to a flat position, so she had a hard time.
So unfortunately for Alexandra, the bottom half of this race is not going to go the way she would have liked. And well behind the split. Yes, I was saying, so about almost 20 athletes yesterday went under the 1:20, which is Marta Bertoncelli's time at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's a bit more pressure in a semi-final. So I've seen Alexandra, good on her, going back now to try and...
Yeah, this is such a hard attainment, and when you're tired at the...
Oh, gee.
Honestly, on the camera it looks like it just go up, but no, it's like, it's kind of like a step and it's tough there. So after a full-on run, that's a hard attainment to make.
And how important is it, so
props to her for going back.
Yeah, I was going to say, how important is it for an athlete to go back and try and get that gate? Even though they've gone well past it, it's a big job to try and get back. How important is it for the mindset for them to go back and do those gates?
I think personally, I've been in that situation quite a bit. I think it's important because it leaves you with a sense of trying your best, trying hard, and not finishing the run with a 50.
Yep.
Even though you might have a lot of time after. It kind of talks about how perseverance, I think, in a way, and not giving up.
Yeah, and give you that satisfaction knowing you've done it. You managed to get through the gate. You know, it might have been a slog.
And I think for the rest of for other athletes that are progressing to get to that level, it's cool to watch a top athlete miss a gate and then go back for it. I think it gives a sense of respect and inspiration.
So Sophie Ogilvie from Great Britain is on the course. She had a lot of touches already, though. She's struggling a little bit here with the line. For Soph, of course, Mallory Franklin is one of the only big-name athletes missing from this event this weekend. I believe she's going to be in Prague, and she'll be watching right now, I'm sure. Hello to you, Mallory. Looking forward to seeing you in Prague. She, of course, is the Olympic silver medalist and World Championship silver medalist as well. So she's missing, but that's opened the door for some of the young athletes to have a go. And great to see Sophie Ogilvie here as part of the GB team. But look at that colour board there on the side of the screen there. She got a 50 for gate 12. Gee, the athletes, they're struggling, aren't they? We are still looking for a clean run. We've had now 16 athletes on the course, and not one of them has been able to go down without a mistake.
Yes.
So my kingdom for a clean run. Oh, and Monica Doria Villarubla just giving the judges a bit of work there as well.
I think it was clean.
Okay.
It looked risky, but clean.
Yeah. Yep. So as you can see on the side of the course, you can see, oh, there's a touch on that. That was a.
Just gotta have space on that gate, but
Yeah.
also be very tight. It's super hard move. Oh, that was tight too.
So we have judges. You can see them. You might not. We can't see one there, but on the side of the course there are judges who are looking at the athletes. They're using the naked eye to see whether there are gate touches or whether there are missed gates. They put into a keypad what happens if it's clean or if there's a 2-second penalty or a 50-second penalty. Then we have a team in mission control, or ground control as we call it, David Bowie and his team sitting in there reviewing all the monitors, the television monitors, and they will double check anything that looks close. Anything which is a 50 will be automatically reviewed as well, just to make sure, because 50-second penalty is a harsh penalty. And then off the strength of that, they will determine whether the penalty sticks or whether it can be lifted. So the scrutiny's improved a lot, hasn't it, Soph, in the last few years?
Definitely. It's crazy, all the cameras they have to check if it was a penalty or not. It's very impressive system, I could say. She's having a really good run, I think.
Yeah, just that one touch.
Kind of solid. So I think she's going to put down a good time.
She was
in the final yesterday as well.
Yeah, she made the final, the K1. So,
Oy.
oh my goodness, we have not seen. That's okay though.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you get over the finish. She's going, what happened there?
She's like, what did I do there?
I forgot which way was up. And ended up, she's got a mouthful of that beautiful Augsburg water.
Yeah, that was kind of a bummer. She was having a solid run until that roll.
Not sure what happened.
She kind of just lost her balance with those boils.
Yeah.
Again, just another thing about Augsburg. You just never know where you're at with the water.
Nope. So one of the impressive young French paddlers, Angèle Hoog, is on the course. So exciting to watch. Such an exciting future for this young lady. I've seen her put down some very impressive runs. Still learning a lot in terms of, in terms of competing on the big stage and getting over all the nerves that go with it, and not being intimidated by not just the course, but also some of the names you see alongside you on the start list.
For sure. I think I really like her style. She's always so composed. It looks like she could have 10 books on her head and not drop them while she's paddling.
10 apples up on top.
Yeah.
She's giving the canoe a good workout anyway. Another gate there.
That bow, I hope it's okay at the bottom.
Yes. I'd hate to see her sink halfway down.
That'd be pretty tough, I think.
Yeah. Her speed's good at the moment, though. Even with the 2 touches, she's not that far out. In fact, look at that, just 0.55 of a second behind Marta Berticelli's time.
She cannot afford to get another penalty there, though.
No. And we're seeing, Soph, that approach that Marta took, the careful approach, the conservative approach, is still holding her in good stead.
Yes.
Because she is still going to be on top. And Angèle Hoog, well, look, she's in the mix. She's definitely in the mix. The way that this race is going at the moment, we're about to get into, we're not far away from the top 10, which means we'll start to see a few cues appearing for qualification.
Definitely.
You would have to... Oh, my goodness me.
That was tight.
That was very tight.
Nice back ferry.
Ellis Miller, 21 years of age, 9th at the Under-23 World Championships in 2021, and getting a rare chance for Ellis Miller to compete on the big stage with the big guns and learning from this experience. 2 big gate touches there, though, unfortunately for Ellis. But again, another of the young Brits who are coming through, and again, can I say this? This is one of the great benefits of having a home Olympics. So, with London and the fantastic facility they built at Lee Valley, which is still going strong, and we're so excited to have our World Championships there later this year. And just the flow on from that with new athletes coming through because they got to go and watch. It's like the classic Jess Fox story from the year 2000, when she was 6 years old and saw the Olympics on her doorstep in Penrith, and now look what's happened. And so many athletes get inspired by the Olympics on their doorstep and go out and take up the sport.
For sure, and just having the opportunity to sign up and start training in a course of that magnitude is, I think it's quite amazing
Yeah.
and an opportunity for sure.
Yeah, I mean, what a great thing to say. I train on the course where the Olympics were held in 2012.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. What do you do for a job? So at the moment, yes, again, a whole string of penalties, unfortunately, for Alice Miller there, which will put her out of the running for the final, but a great learning experience for this young lady. She's going to be, well, the important thing is no 50s for her, and that's, I think you would take that as a win.
Yeah, that is something for sure.
The way this course has been going. So,
she knows there were a lot of touches, but
yeah, yep.
no
Shake
major mistakes.
No, shake of the head. Maybe a little bit disappointing that she hasn't made more, but she's got through to the semi, and so that's not bad. And
she fixed the top over there, which was quite amazing.
Yep. Now, Teresa Neblova, we know how good she is. Very, very fast, very accomplished, does a lot of paddling, and is ultra consistent. So this will be maybe the big challenge for the new leader, for Martin Berticelli, and maybe this is the athlete who will go down clean, the first athlete.
Looks like it.
She looks busy, doesn't she? She's looking good on the course at the moment. All clear and fast for Teresa Neblova.
There's still a lot to go, a lot of gates, but she's looking super solid, super composed.
And this will be the last athlete before we get into the top 10. So at this stage, no mistakes, which is the important thing. And if she can stay clean, she will be our new race leader, you would think. But at the moment, this is a good run, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very good run. She's flying with the boat. She hasn't lost speed. She's just pushing through. You can tell she's like taking it slow in a way, but just like keeping the boat moving the whole time. So it's working out well for her.
Just backing her judgment there.
Yeah, very good.
So I think we are about to see if it all stays together. Not only the first clean run of the semi-finals, but also our new race leader by a long way.
Wow.
Yeah, you punch the air, Teresa Neblova, because you are our new race leader, and I think we're going to see you in the final this afternoon, which will be exciting for the Czech fans, but also exciting for our sport. What about this young lady? How pumped was she yesterday to win her first World Cup K1 gold medal? And now she's out here competing in the C1 in an event where she was world champion back in Bratislava when she was Elena Apple back then. She's now Elena Lilich, and she is in very good form this year. She won the German selections and was awesome yesterday. How important is it, Sophie? She's had a couple of runs on the course yesterday, this exact course where the gates are now. How important is that for her in this event today?
I think it's a big deal, since she already knows the course so well. To get to practice now the set gates, you could say, I think it makes a big difference. She knows what to expect from the water. She knows how tight or how conservative she needs to go, and I think we can see that right now.
So yesterday when the Germans were on the course, we had a bell, but I think I just heard a siren today, so they've upgraded. They've upgraded the level of support for the German team. Now, I did ask Elena yesterday, I said, so are you going to have a quiet night tonight to prepare for your canoe tomorrow? She said, no. She said, I've just become a World Cup gold medalist. I'm going to go out and celebrate. So I'm not sure what form those celebrations took. Judging by the way she's paddling, they were fairly restrained.
Yeah, could agree with that. That's cool.
We're going to have a new race leader. Check out there. She's coming down now to the finish line. That is a good run with a 2-second penalty. With a 2-second penalty, She's got the Q. See that, folks? Q. That means qualified. Elena Lilich into another final. And what a great weekend it's been for her already. You would not want to bet against her. Clara Olazabal from Spain, 24 years of age.
She was able to pull that move up top really, really well. She kept calm and straight down.
that must be annoying for an athlete. You know, there's some challenging gates there where it's almost impossible to miss the poles, and then when you give away a 2-second penalty like that, it's frustrating, isn't it? Super frustrating.
Very frustrating.
But she's got the speed to pick up those 2 seconds further down the course.
Yeah, she's going quite fast.
I'm not sure where she bases herself for training. I'm assuming it's in Liceo, in Spain.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's in San Sebastian.
Okay, yep.
Liceo. She goes between Amco.
Yep.
She was San Sebastian Amco.
Athletes certainly are spoiled for choice in that part of the world.
Yeah.
To have all those on your doorstep and year-round facilities. So,
Definitely.
Clara Olazabal looking to go under Eleanor Lillick's time of 1:12.97. But at the moment, the time she needs to beat to get into the final is Teresa Neblova's 1:15.
Fast, clean run. So.
Yep.
But honestly, Clara's having a very solid run. Very impressive.
And not too bad there. A little bit of time lost.
Yeah, and I think for their Spanish selections, making a final on this race mattered quite a bit. I'm not sure of the details, but...
Okay. Well, she's going to be close. She's going to be third at the moment. So Teresa Neblova goes through. She's now qualified. Eleanor Lillick is through as well. And now Clara Olazabal is on the cusp. But this young lady, this teenager from Slovakia, just 18 years of age and a former European junior champion, an exciting paddler, Susanna Pankova.
Exciting paddler for sure. We'll see what she can do in this course. She's looking good.
She's already got the... nope. That's
a bit late, but not a 50, I guess. With a 2-second penalty, they would still put down a fast run, so we will see.
Yeah. Teresa Neblova is still the only athlete to have gone clean on this course so far, which is incredible because we're now into the top 10. It's a 30 strong field, so it just shows how tough this is today. But as Sophia said, even with a touch, you could still get through here. Eleanor Lillick got through with a 2-second penalty, but Eleanor Lillick is super strong. As is, by the way, Susanna Pankova.
Yeah, it is her home course, which in these type of courses definitely makes a difference. She is kind of a solid.
So not a bad run at all. Just that mess she made of gate 8, but only 2-second penalty. So the time she's looking to beat is still the time of Clara Olazabal. That is the cusp, that is the lip at the moment. That's a 1:17.35. That's the time she needs to go under to automatically qualify. It's going to be very close to 1:17. She might be just inside it, is she? Ooh, just outside it. So
Clara is qualified.
Clara Olazabal is through from Spain. So already we have a German, we have a Czech, and we have a Spaniard in the final. And Susanna Pankova is now the one who will watch on nervously because she is in the next qualifying position. Kimberly Woods from Great Britain. Well, I mean, Kimberly's been paddling for a while. She was at the Olympics, of course, and she always puts it out there, doesn't she, on the course. She just puts her heart and soul into every run. Oh, there's a big touch there, but Kimberly's the sort of athlete who can absorb that and make up for that on the bottom of the course.
Definitely. And she made well number 8, so I think that was important for this.
She's a strong paddler, isn't she, Kimberly?
Yeah, she's very strong, definitely.
One of the athletes who'll be doing all 3 events this weekend. She's already done the kayak. She was disappointed not to make the final yesterday. It didn't go well for her, the semi, so she'll be out for redemption today. And then she's got the luxury of having, well, it's not a luxury, don't call it a luxury, of doing the kayak cross tomorrow. But her time now, she's got the one touch up the top. She's a little bit slow, but there's a big amount of wriggle room there between the fourth and the fifth. There's a couple of seconds there in the time at the moment. So the time she wants to go under is the time of Zuzana Pankova, which is a 1:18.48. Don't think she's going to go under that time. Unfortunately, she's lost a bit of time on a couple of the ups here. So I don't think she's going to go under the 1:18. But will she put herself into a top 10 position? She's coming down now. Oh, she's going to be close, but just outside the 1:18. So puts herself into 7th. I don't know that that's going to be good enough, unfortunately, for Kimberly to make the final. And yeah, banging on the head. She worked pretty hard, but not good enough, unfortunately, I don't think, to get through.
Yeah, it's the tiny little mistakes, they just add up in time, and it's just so easy to lose a couple of seconds here and there, and then definitely matters at the end of the run. Oh, that was a nice move.
This is Victoria Us, who was wonderful in the kayak, especially her first run. She qualified fastest in the kayak on the first day, and she's got such a good record in the canoe as well. She was 9th at the World Championships last year. She was 7th in the Olympics. Just one of these athletes who looks equally as comfortable in a canoe as she does in a kayak, doesn't she?
Definitely, and for me, she's definitely one of my favorite paddlers. I really look up to her. I think her style and just everything in and out of the water, she's quite amazing. So
I was about to say, I love her attitude off the water as well. It's just so refreshing. Ooh, yep, she's done it. She got that through. I think it was a touch there.
There was a touch, but she was in the gate.
So at the moment, she lost the grip of the top of the handle, I think.
I'm always terrified of the way they switch. They seem so comfortable about it, but that just goes to still. It's not that easy. Sometimes you got to look at the T-grip over there.
So initially there were very few athletes who actually switched, but it seems to be growing in a trend now.
Yeah, definitely. Now even most of the men that are starting are starting to switch.
So what that means, folks, and there you go, you just saw it. Thank you very much for showing us, Vicky, what we meant. And again, it's just switching hands there. And so unfortunately for Vicky, that's going to be tough for her to get through. But what it means is that Marta Bertoncelli from Italy is through. What an interesting looking final we've already got unfolding. We've got some young up-and-coming stars who are going to be in our final, and that is exciting for the sport. Teresa Fizero, yes, we know where you're from. Don't worry about that. We know how strong you are, Teresa Fizerova. She's out for a bit of redemption here. She's such a good paddler, so good in the canoe. Initially, that was her. She just focused on the canoe, but recently she's gone across to the kayak as well. But this is her strength. She missed the final at the World Championships here last year, so I think she'd like to eradicate that bogey man, that bogey woman that she has of this Augsburg course.
Yeah, it is. Even with that penalty touch, she still looks a little bit behind on that split, but still with a solid run, so it could be very possible for her to make this final.
Yeah, well, the time she's got to get under is it's a 1:20.39, which is Angel Hook's time. Angel is the athlete now on the cusp, waiting nervously for Teresa Fizerova. You would have to think that Teresa Fizerova, if she's anywhere near her best, should be able to go well under 1:20, but she's got 2 gate touches and a possible third, so if she's going to do it, she's going to need to do it with 6 seconds in penalties.
Yeah, that is a tough ask for sure for anybody.
But she's good. I mean, we know what she's capable of.
We know how strong she is, so no questioning that.
And at the moment, she's tracking pretty well. I think she's going to go under the 1:20. That's the time you've got to look at, folks. She's going to go under 1:20, and even with the extra 2-second penalty, she's going to be fine. That's a good run for somebody with 2 gate touches. Look at that smile. She's happy.
Yeah. She knows she did the job. She made it through. Now she's on the final.
And she probably knows, Soph, that it wasn't her best run, but she still managed to get through. So
yeah, that must be a cool feeling. Know that you made it through and you still have a lot of room to improve for a final.
Aja Kozorov from Slovenia. She was 10th in the World Championships on her home course. Sorry, not on her home course, in Bratislava back in 2021. She's made a couple of finals since then. And today, this is wide open for her. This is a big opportunity to get through and get through to another final, because that time of 1:20 for these top athletes on this course, 1:20 is not really a big ask.
Yeah.
But you've got to remain clean, and she's had 3 gate touches already, and we're only at gate 11.
It's
So
definitely going to be a tough. She's going to have to go really fast and clean at the bottom to make up for that time.
So it's still Angel Hook who is sitting on the cusp at the moment with a time of 1:20.39. Everything would need to go right here for Kozorog, though, with 6 seconds in penalties at the bottom of the course to get through. She needs. Oh, she's gone direct there. That was a good move.
Yeah.
When they pull that off, it looks good, doesn't it? It's, and it really makes you at least a second.
Yeah, definitely. Get some time there.
So Alja Kozorov now heading for the bottom part of this course. She's got to go under the 1:20 to get into the final. I think she's going to struggle. She's already up to 1:12. I don't know that she's going to be able to get through, unfortunately for Alia, which means that Angel Hook from France, another young... Ooh, that's a tough one as well. That's a bit of work for the judges on that one as well.
Review, yeah.
But no final action today, unfortunately, for Alia. She comes in 17th position, and there's a couple of reviews underway. But great news for Angel. Wow, that's exciting.
Final for sure.
Martina Satkova made her mark as a wild water paddler, where she is incredible. She's won so many titles in wild water, and here she is. She's really a formidable canoe slalom paddler as well. Looked really good in the heats, Martina.
Yeah.
And just a strong paddler who loves the wilder the water, the better she is.
Sure, she's really nice diesel.
Interestingly, it's now Kimberly Woods, who we saw how disappointed Kimberly was with her run.
She's now in...
She's not going to believe that she's now actually on the border of making the final, which would be a super second chance for Kimberly, given the mistake she made on her run. So
for sure, I think we'll wait and see, but it does look like she's having a solid run over here.
Yep.
No touches, still clean.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Martina Satkova, then you've got Jess Fox, and then you've got Andrea Herzog. So to rely on one of those three to make a big mistake is a big ask.
That's a tough one for sure.
But we saw yesterday with Jess, she picked up a 50 in the semi-final. I'm sure she'll be much more conservative today. There'll be no risks taken, I don't think, with the Olympic champion. I think that Martina's going to be fine here unless something goes badly wrong.
Yeah, it looks like she's
going to comfortably be under the 1:20 mark.
Yeah, she's kept really composed.
She may, in fact, she'll be in the top 5, I think, with this time. She's coming across to the finish line now. She's going to be top 5 easily. So that's a good race for Martina Satkova. She goes in now as 4th ranked. Little punch of the air there.
3rd check.
And the 3rd check, yeah. Right, Jess Fox, let's see what approach she brings today to this semi-final. What did she learn from yesterday in the kayak when she... Ooh, I think that was where she had the trouble yesterday, actually, that gate there. So she's through it this time, which will be a big relief to her.
Yeah, oh, she did. I wasn't sure if the gate was moving or
it was hard to tell. It looked like it was moving
before she went even.
I thought it exactly. I thought it was moving before she went through it. So
yeah, that's what it looked like.
The judges will review it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like she's going conservative, does it? She looks like she's really throwing it out there, which I'm surprised a little bit, because she only has to go under 1:20 to get into the final.
I think she knows she has that touch, and you know when Jessica has the touch on the first gate, she normally goes really hard after, so...
So you would expect here that Jess will go under 1:10 if she got her very, very best. Eleanor Lillick is at the top of the leaderboard at the moment with the 1:12 with a 2-second penalty. So Jess, we know, is very much capable of going under 1:10. We'll get an idea here of how she's tracking. We'll get an updated split time. She's fastest at the moment and looks in control.
Very experienced, so we can see that most C1 girls have chosen to have a direct approach, like not an S, do like a normal upstream, and I think a lot of the K1 men or women were doing S, going in from one side, out from the other side.
Look how strong she's getting across there on that cross there. And this time is going to be good. She will go, I think she's going to go under the 110, or she's going to be thereabouts. I think she'll go into the lead anyway.
Yeah.
So for Jess Fox, that's a good run. She'll be very happy. Little sneaky look at the time. She's probably not sure about that 2-second penalty, but what the heck.
Yeah.
What the heck. It doesn't matter. She's into the final, and that it would be a great sense of relief for the Olympic champion. Now we have the world champion. The Olympic champion makes way for the world champion, Andrea Herzog, who really, she was bronze medalist at the Olympics behind Jess and Mallory Franklin. Came out at the World Championships here last year and absolutely blitzed the field. Look how strong she is, so she's just so smooth across the water, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. It looks like she knows.
Oh, what's happened there though? She missed the gate.
Yeah,
She's got to go back. Oh, Andrea. And she's got a touch now. Right, now she really has to pin the ears back.
Whoa. You can tell she knows the course because she was able to go back off that gate kind of easily.
But she lost a lot of time.
But sadly, she lost a lot of time.
There is time for her to give though, because the time she's got to beat is Kimberly Wood's time of 1:20.99. Let's say 1:21 between friends, 1:21. You would think that even with that mess that she made up there, that Andrea Herzog can get inside 1:21 if she holds it together and makes no more mistakes. Another gate touch could make it very difficult for her though.
Very difficult.
Oh,
I think in her head she knows she lost a lot of time. She probably thinks there's no way.
She didn't go direct there, which I thought she might have done, but
yeah,
so
she really's got to push in this bottom section.
She'll be hearing the crowd, she'll be hearing the commentator, she'll hear the excitement in his voice, which will probably indicate to her that she's still in the mix.
Yeah.
At the moment she's, it's going to be, I tell you what, this is going to be touch and go for Andrea Herzog, the world champion on her, in front of her home fans. She's got to go under 1:20. It's going to be very close. I think she's going to get there. Not by much, but I think she's going to sneak in just. Is she?
Oh my God, that was...
No, she's just missed out. That is heartbreak for Andrea Herzog. You can see the disappointment on her face.
Yeah, that's...
Well, yesterday we had Jess Fox miss a final, and today we've got Andrea Herzog. Look at that, and unfortunately, Soph, no way of getting back up without touching that pole, is there? You cannot,
no.
It's hard to sneak through there.
Because otherwise she would get a 50 going back up in the wrong way, so it was kind of a given to have that touch.
Look at that look on her face there. She's thinking, what have I just done?
Yeah. That's a tough spot, you know. It's a tiny, tiny eddy, super hectic.
And look at the German fans. They've come here today to see Andrea Herzog. They've come here to see a German medal, and unfortunately for Andrea, who we know is just so formidable on the course, and missing out there, not by much, but great news though for Kimberly Woods.
Yeah, super good news. I think she was disappointed, and now she's got
pick
another
herself up
chance.
again.
Yeah, she's got the chance to pull it back together.
So look at that field, Soph. What do you think looking at that field there?
Wow, I think after looking at that semi-final, it's going to be a tough final, and anything could happen.
Really interesting that we've got the top 5 are your more experienced paddlers. Fox, Lilik, Neblova, Fizerova, Satkova. The bottom 5 are your young up-and-comers. Olafable, Penkova, Bertoncelli, Hook,
Yeah,
Kimberly.
that's going to be...
I mean, this is the new versus the, I'm not going to say the old, but the experienced, and it's going to be a fascinating final.
It's kind of like the K1 final from the men yesterday.
Really is. Yeah. But it was the other way around, wasn't it, with the men? All the experience.
Yeah, all the experience were at the top.
All the old timers were out there first, and they got to come in and put on their dressing gowns and
stay on the kiss and cry the whole time.
Smoke their pipes, their pipes, and put their slippers on, their comfy slippers, and watch the young guns. And this time round, it's the other way around. So it's going to be a fascinating final. Looking forward to bringing it to you very, very soon. So thank you so much, as always.
Thank you.
Love having you in the commentary box.
super excited to watch the semi-final from this angle.
Yeah, indeed. And well, I'm not sure yet. We might have you in here for the final, or you might be down in the with the athletes, keeping them company.
Never know. Sounds good.
Handing out the slippers for them when they come off the water. But thank you so for bringing some insights and your thoughts on the women's semi-final.
Thank you.
Sophia Renesso from Mexico there, joining us in the commentary. Always fantastic to have Soph with us. I hope you've enjoyed. What a great semi-final. I mean, talk about the highs and the lows. It really was something to behold. Seeing these athletes and the nerves and the tension, and seeing an athlete of the experience of Andrea Herzog there trying to hold it together. And unfortunately for her, and unfortunately for the German fans, not able to make the final, but Eleanor Lillich is there. She'll give the Germans a good run for their money this afternoon. They will be in the hunt at some stage for a medal. So now we turn to the men. And well, this is, I mean, to me, for my thinking, this is one of the most even races of the competition. The men's canoe is always close, it's always tight, and we've got a crackerjack semi-final field here. 30 athletes all out there doing their stuff, and I can tell you there's a lot of big names in this semi-final. That there's also a few names that are surprising, maybe at the top of the leaderboard, and in fact none more surprising than at the very top of the leaderboard, because we have a Frenchman there, but not the Frenchman you might expect. Joining me in the commentary box, Brodie Crawford from Australia. Brodie, great to have you here, mate. How's things?
Yeah, good, thanks. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Well, you'd be happier if you were out there, of course.
Yeah, of course. Things didn't quite go to plan, but it's great to be in Augsburg, and I'm very excited to watch them throw down in this semi-final.
Tell us a bit about the course. I mean, it's always challenging at Augsburg, but I think the course designers had a bit of a mean streak this week, didn't they?
Such a challenge. Every time you get here, especially straight from Australia, the current here just goes everywhere. It's so hard to read the water and just be smooth and efficient here.
Is it anything like Penrith or not at all?
No, I feel Penrith is very uniform and the water's very predictable. Here it's just, I don't know, it's crazy.
It actually really is, and a bit of local knowledge goes a long way.
Absolutely.
For the athletes who can train here all the time. But here we are, we're underway, and we have a Dutch paddler on the water first up. We have 30 paddlers in action today. They're vying for 10 spots in the final. We've got Olympic champions, we've got world champions all in this field, and we've got some young guns as well, Brodie, that trying to make their mark, trying to step up and put a bit of fear in some of the old stages.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the moment we're looking at one of them, Joris Otten. I've known this guy for a very long time, and he's just been consistently training hard and improving, which isn't easy coming from the Netherlands. Not a lot of white water, but every year he's gotten better and better, and it's awesome to see him here.
So would he spend most of his time training at Po or Sao, or do you know where he bases himself?
Yeah, he relocated to Po I think a couple of years ago, so that's his ground at the moment.
So what is the population of Po generally? I think is a couple of thousand, but I reckon with the canoe slalom community it must swell to about 10,000. It seems like everybody calls it their second home.
Yeah, it's certainly become the hub for the expats, I guess. It's a good place, good club. Yeah, awesome facility to train on as well.
So unfortunately the top half of the course not going to plan for Joris. He's had a couple of gate touches and had to work hard to get back to do a couple of gates. But as we saw in the women's competition that just finished, Brodie, there was only two athletes in the whole women's field who went through without a touch, which is, I mean, that tells you a lot about that course, doesn't it?
Far out. You don't see that too often. Yeah, they've certainly put a huge challenge out there for everyone. I think particularly in C1, that middle stagger, it's real tough with one blade to get across and get it clean.
Yeah. I said yesterday in the commentary for the kayak, if you can get through the first 9 gates without a touch, then you've laid yourself a bit of a platform for a decent run, because those first 9 gates are really challenging, and then there's a couple more thrown in down the bottom of the course.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now we have an Italian on the course, Martino Barzon, again an athlete that we haven't seen a lot of in semi-final action, so a chance for him here to make a bit of a mark. But he's missed that gate though. Look at the work he's got to do to get back for that. That's exactly what we saw Andrea Herzog just do in the women's, and it cost her a place in the final. And unfortunately for Martino, that's going to be hard for him now to pick up enough time to make up for that mistake.
Yeah, he's just got to try and keep his chin up and give it all, get a good finish to the run. I think this might be, I could be wrong, but it could be his first World Cup. He's quite a young kid, so at least he's here in the semi-final, getting awesome experience. Great achievement for your first World Cup.
So we've got a strong field. Tristan Carter from Australia, he looked good in the heats.
He did, yep. He had a little mistake, almost fell in and still got through, so that's pretty good going.
Yeah. It would be really good to see if he can make it through to the final. He's another one of the athletes who've improved. He's improved a lot. He hasn't improved his hairstyle much. I think he's regressed. I think that's gone backwards. But that aside, Brody, he seems to be paddling quite well.
Yeah, no comment on the hairstyle. It's just their own. But yeah, no, he's looking good. He's got a very smooth and nice style, smooth edges, and very efficient. So it's good to watch when he's on.
So look at the checkerboard on the side of the screen there. That's a lot of gate touches. No 50s, which you'd be happy about, but wow, that's unfortunately for the Italian Martino Barzon. As you said, Brody, though, great learning experience for him. He's up racing against the big guys.
Absolutely.
Who's this kid?
Yeah.
Who's this new kid on the block?
What's he doing here?
What is he doing here? Yuri Priskovic. What a story this is. Oof. Remember, you've only got one blade, Yuri. That's the thing. What a great story. Here is your Olympic K1 champion who made himself a promise that if he won gold in Tokyo, that he would try something new after the Olympics, that being he would try canoe.
Yeah, just an unbelievable story. You know, we all saw him training a bit throughout the World Cups last year, and he was looking good, but I don't think anyone expected him to break onto this Czech senior team. It's just so stacked. And to win, I think, selection.
He did. And he told me the other day, he said, when I was out there paddling first, he said, people were laughing at me. He said, I could hear them laughing. I was out there and I could hear them guffawing in the stands. But he said, I kept at it. He said, I kept falling out of the boat. I kept, banging my head. I wasn't sure what I was doing. People were laughing at my moves. And here he is in the semi-finals. Yeah. And so far, a nice clean run, bro.
Yeah, throwing it down, a very nice run. Very smooth. Really good through the tricky staggers under the bridge and in the middle there.
Of course, he's not the first. Daniel Watkins, your former teammate, he was doing K1 and C1. He was one of the only athletes doing it for a long, long time, but he used to always go out and do both, didn't he? And do well at both.
He did, yeah. I think he's sort of in the men's division. He was a bit of a leader in that sort of thing.
A pioneer, wasn't he?
Yeah, pioneer, yeah. There's still not many doing it. Yuri's probably one of the only ones, but good run down today.
Look at that. That is clean. That is clean, and just a lazy 15 seconds faster. There's a bit of a cheeky smile there, a bit of a, wow, there you go. What do you think of me now? Anyone laughing? Anyone laughing at me now? Let's have a giggle.
He seemed happy with that run, which is a pretty good indication it's a good time.
It really, really is. Speaking of characters, Jake Cochran from Ireland. The Irish have got a good, strong team here, and Jake's been there and about for a couple of seasons now.
Yeah, for sure. He spent a bit of time in Australia, actually. He's a great bloke, Jake. They call him the Irish Dragon. I think just because he's such a weapon in that canoe. But really dynamic paddler. Really whips the boat.
May have been a gate touch there. Looked like he might have just brushed it on the way through. Hard to tell though, but they're going to review it.
A touch there maybe as well.
Yeah. So yeah, a good race so far, and the man at the top of the leaderboard is Yuri Priskovic. Not a lot to go on. We can't really draw a line through. But let's have a look, and I'll tell you what the fastest qualifying time was yesterday in the men's canoe. From a look at, were you surprised to see Lucas Rosen? We hadn't seen him for a couple of seasons, and he put that fastest time down, 95.47.
A little surprised, but I mean that French team. If you're on that team, you're up there. So pretty impressive though. He hasn't raced probably a major event in a few years to come down and lay down the quickest time is pretty impressive.
And I think just sending out a message, because I know there's been a little bit of argy-bargy about French selection, so
yes,
best way to answer that is to go down and lay out a best time.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point.
Yep. So Jake Cochran, though, he's got a couple of touches and just struggling a little bit in that up gate there, but I mean, wow, there's so many pitfalls on this course, Brodie, and you can think you're through the hard part, and then all of a sudden something else pops up.
Yeah, for sure. Jake pushing all the way to the finish, good to see. But yeah, like you say, and even with Augsburg, like the features change as well. Sometimes it's just luck, like stoppers where the water's breaking go green and you've got a wave, and the person after you has a different wave, and it's madness out there.
And just explain that for people watching at home, because people think, oh, but you must know where the water's going, you must know where the currents are, but it changes. It does explain that to people, what you have to, how you watch that, how you look for that when you're on the water.
So essentially, you've got breaking waves and those sort of waves will hold the kayak or canoe much stronger, so you don't have to turn the boat and set up as much. But if it goes green, it forces you to slow the boat down a lot more if you want to use that wave and catch it. And Augsburg just is weird. A wave can be breaking for 20 minutes, and then for the next 5, it's green. It's very odd. And
it really is the luck of the draw for you, and it can make a big difference in your final time.
Yep.
Now, the young Frenchman, very exciting paddler. He's already won a World Cup, and he is really the future, one of the young paddlers for the future, I think. Nicolas Gaston from France. We know he's fast, we know he's capable.
Yeah, super fast, smooth, French style, perfect French style, really efficient. See how he goes in this tricky 15, 16 move. A little bit low, but clean, which is good. It does have a touch on the top though, so you don't have to work hard through the middle. Going for the S there, it's an interesting option there.
A few of the men did it in the kayak. A bit harder in the canoe, but he was 4th in the World Championships back in 2021 in Bratislava, and I think that was when we all sat up and took notice. We'd seen him have some good results in the under-23s and juniors, but he seemed to make that transition really, really comfortably across to the top, and I think he's going to go through now in the quickest time.
Good finish.
Yes, just inside, so... What if is 103? Is that in the mix, do you think, Brodie, for a final? Given that 95 was the time, and I know it's a little bit different course, but 95 was the time for the qualifiers.
I think so. Just given the caliber of the paddlers, Yuri and Nico, I think it'll have to be up there, for top 10 for sure.
What's happened there, Zach? Zach Loken now from the United States. He gave us all a bit of a thrill in the Olympics, was through to the final and finished 7th. In Tokyo, which in the end I think he was a little bit disappointed. He was tracking so well in that final, and then it went a little bit pear-shaped towards the bottom for him.
Yeah, he definitely can be very quick on his day. He can be a really fast paddler. And we saw that, like you say, in the Olympics.
And one of the characters off the water as well.
Yeah,
Zach, always
super
good
nice
for a
bloke.
laugh. Yeah, yep.
Definitely.
It's a tight-knit community, isn't it, Brodie? I mean, a lot of sports. A lot of the athletes don't socialise off the water. They don't talk much. They just sort of stick to their own. They don't want to give too much away. But what I've got to say in the years that I've been involved covering slalom and working with the International Canoe Federation, there's a really tight-knit community in canoe slalom.
Yeah, definitely. I think just being kind of a smaller sport that it is, people sort of have to, especially some teams, you have to work together often as well, like logistically, and you're going through the same sort of issues and hardships, I guess. So, no, it is nice, and especially people like Zach, they make it really nice with friendly guys.
And in the winter, in the European winter, a lot of the athletes migrate to the same places for. Used to be Penrith. Used to be everybody used to come to Penrith, but COVID stuffed that up a little bit. And since then, it's they've spread out to other parts of the world. Zach's time's not bad here. He's going to go into maybe he'll be in the top 3. Yeah, there he is, sneaking into 3rd spot at the moment for Zach Loken.
Yeah, just a couple of small mistakes, the penalties, it adds up quick. But yeah, good effort.
Yeah, I think that time will challenge to be top 10. Will challenge for top. Won't challenge for top 10, but it's a good run. He's out there. He's put it down there. Gregor Hedwig, he's been around for a little while now, 34 years of age, but always gives it his all and is a pretty consistent paddler.
Yeah, always up and in the mix, Hedwig. Every now and then throws down a really good run and can be up in the medals, so you never know. But so far so good. Up on the split, it's how he got just a touch under the bridge. It is such a make or break at 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
You get through there, you're on for a run. But
yep. No, we've seen a lot of penalties on gate 2 and gate 4, and gate 9 can be challenging coming down that drop there can throw people right off their line. But the time is fast, so the green, you can see as soon as there's a green colour there, it means that they're in front of the split, and at the moment he's going well.
Yeah, with the penalty, it's fast.
Gregor Hedwig from Poland.
Very nice through 14, nice and whippy. See,
2 in a row, so that's going to make it tough for him.
Yeah, it's sort of like the race is being won or lost in that move. 15, 16 at the moment.
Yep.
Good S there.
Yeah, given the quality of the athletes still to come, with Olympic and world champions biding their time, ready to go down and lay something down special, I would think that 3 gate touches is going to be very, very hard to get yourself through to a final.
Yeah, I would have thought you probably need a couple less than that, but you never know. It is Augsburg, and there's been a lot of penalties this weekend.
Yep,
the most I've seen in a long time.
So he's going to be top 3 at the moment for Gregor.
Quick time.
Yeah.
On a 99. Yeah.
He's wagging his finger. I don't know what for, because all those touches were pretty obvious, I think. I don't think there's too much he can argue about for Gregor. Now, Casey Eichfeld, he is a character.
Yeah.
Casey. Loves his paddling, loves his canoeing on all forms of water.
Yeah, definitely in the running for nicest bloke on the circuit as well.
Sure is, and we've been fortunate to have him in the commentary a few times. We've always got to be ready to press the button in case he lets an expletive fly. Oh, Casey.
Geez, just getting shunted.
And just taking a moment there to catch his thoughts, but no time for that, Casey.
Yeah.
Get back in the business, my friend.
That's it. Time to throw down now, nothing to lose.
Yeah, he's probably got a bit of anger there, a bit of fire in the belly now, so he's going to go down and make the rest of the course pay.
That's right.
God help any pole that gets in his way, and I don't mean pole as in Polish, I mean pole as in your down poles.
That's right.
He will make them pay. No, nice and clean now. Maybe he should paddle angry a bit more often.
It's good to see him back. He's had a quiet couple of seasons. He had a baby girl, so he took most of the last season off, but it's good to see him back and in the action.
He'll be champing at the bit, trying to get to the next Olympics. There'll be a fierce, as there is on all teams, Brodie, including on the Australian team, of course. It's a fierce competition for those Olympic spots, aren't there?
It is. Yep.
Oh, Casey's not going to be amused by that either, especially because it hit him in the back of the head.
Yeah.
But it's a tough, you look at the Australian team, and I know you guys quite well, and you're quite a tight-knit team, but in the end you're all vying for that. And this is the thing about slalom, it's a tough business because there's only one spot available. Does it make it harder when you are good friends and when you are quite close as a team?
I think it differs person to person. Personally, not really, I think.
I mean, you're a knockabout bloke anyway.
Yeah, like for me, you want the best bloke going to the Olympic Games. So if that's not you, so be it. Like if you're going, you want to be going because you were the best. So that's how I look at it. And
if it's you're always going to wish your teammate the very best when they get there, aren't you?
Yeah, and if they're better than you on the day, then good for them, I guess. Hopefully they get the medals for Australia. That's how I look at it.
Yep. Jean-Pierre Bourras from Senegal is on the water, and a guy with I think he's relocated to Po, I think he told me, and always paddles well, and of course Senegal, he should be able to qualify for the Olympics. There's canoe slalom is still developing in parts of Africa, so
stiff competition now though with his brother.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, a bit of rivalry there.
Yeah, both really good paddlers, so that should be interesting. I think he's been to the last 2 Olympics.
Yep,
so,
he has.
Yeah, they're both really good paddlers, like you say. Was he in Paris for a while? I think he was, wasn't he? He's back to Po now.
Yep. So Jean-Pierre Bourras I think he was quite relieved. Well, I don't think I know he is quite relieved to get through to the final after a dodgy first run in the heats. It took 2 runs, I think, for him to get through to the semis. So looking out there now, he's been given an opportunity, looking to do something a bit special. Clean so far, which is important, Brody.
Yep, still in touch. Just needs a good, fast finish. Little sticky in the S. Again, that S gate is dependent on what you get from the course there. You can get a nice eddy, which means the water's not moving, not pushing you downstream, and it's fast, or it can kind of be like you're doing an upstream in the flow. Just depends.
Is it easy to read the water when you're on top of it? You know, when you've got so many things to think about, so many things going through your head. You've got to make sure you get the numbers in the right order for the gates. As we see Jean-Pierre come down now and move into the 5th spot. So, no, it won't be good.
Losing a little bit on the bottom there.
Is it hard to read the water when you've got so much else to do?
It can be, yeah. It's happening all pretty fast. And you do need, depending on what it gives you, do need to adjust your line. So that's sort of another element of the sport, I guess, which is really important, especially on courses like this.
So Luka Bozic, talking about teams where there is so much rivalry and so much, I mean, Luka Bozic on nearly any other team in the world would be a red-hot Olympic medal prospect. But he shares an aeroplane seat with, well, not a seat, but he's sitting alongside cheek by jowl with the Olympic champion at the moment. So Luka Bozic, it's always a tough gig to get there to the Olympics, but we know what he's capable of. And if anybody can go down there and lay down a 95 time today, it's Luka Bozic.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see from the bib there, he's bib 2. So, you know, top 2 or 3 in the world. Yet to go to the Olympic Games, but that is about the harshest part of slalom.
Really,
you can see.
It really is. When you look at people like Alexander Slavkovsky, who we'll see on the water in just a moment, consistently over the years, a guy you've raced against a lot, Brody. Hard to believe that he's never been to an Olympics.
It is, yeah. Just cleaning up World Cup medals year after year.
Yep.
Oh, if he gets the eddy there, you can see the water wasn't moving.
Yep.
And that's just, the course is giving him, 2 seconds potentially, just by luck.
So Luka Bozic at the moment, he's got one definite touch, maybe a second. They're having a look at that in ground control to see if it was clear or not. But the time is going to be fast.
Yep.
He's going to go just over the 100, which is a really good time.
Yep, should take the lead.
He'd be happy with that, even with the touch. If he gets this second touch put on, he's going to be in the mix there. For Luka Bozic, 102. He'd be pretty happy with that. I think he can start clearing his calendar for this afternoon for a final.
Yeah, definitely get your warm down done. You're going to the final, I think.
He had to do 2 runs to get through to the semi, which is always a little bit uncomfortable. Takuya Haneda from Japan, of course. He was at the Olympics and won that bronze medal back in Rio, which was an incredible performance, wasn't it?
Yep. A little bit of trouble at the start of this run, though. Just not many forward strokes happening in the first sort of 4 gates. Just a little bit offline, and just the nose touch on gate 2. Very unlucky. Good in 8, though. Nice spin. Oh, touch there somewhere as well.
Touched at the back of his boat, it must have been.
The tail. Very unlucky.
When he came out of it, yeah. He would not know that. I doubt he knows that he did that touch, so...
Yeah, the tail touches are hard. Sometimes you feel them vibrate through the boat.
Can you?
Yeah, but often you don't know you've had them.
It's like when you had a touch with your ponytail, Brody. Not yours, you don't have one, but I know Jess had one last year.
Yes.
Cost her a medal, I think, the ponytail touch.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Pretty unlucky.
Yeah. So Takuya Haneda, who was super thrilled to have the Olympics on his home course, had a lot of attention on him going into Tokyo. And, found it quite challenging, I think, but now here he is out there still competing. He's in his mid-30s now, so he's very experienced, one of the more experienced paddlers on the circuit.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time. I remember watching him and thinking he was a pretty great paddler when I was probably 12, 13 years old.
Yep.
So in Penrith, Australian Open, really been at the top for a long time.
Yeah. Doesn't win a lot of gold medals though, so let's see if he can. I don't know that he's going to be through to the final, unfortunately, today, just outside that top times, so into 7th position, so I would be very surprised if that's going to be good enough to get a ticket for the final for Takuya Haneda from Japan. Now another of the Irishmen, Robert Hendrick, steps up to the mark.
Yeah, the Irish team, hey, had come in leaps and bounds the last sort of five years. Unbelievable. 3 really strong paddlers. I think a few of them making finals last year. It's really good to see.
And there has been talk for a little while that they were going to build a new slalom centre I think in the middle of Dublin. They were going to put down a new slalom centre, which would have been awesome.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
But I don't know where that is at the moment with the planning. I don't know whether it's been put on the back burner, but imagine being able to go and do a slalom World Cup in the middle of Dublin.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Great for these guys too. I mean, they've all moved. A lot of them live in Po. You know, the commitment they've put in is huge.
So great to see the Irish here in force, and great to see this young man. It's 1 touch at the moment, so staying clean is the key here, I think, for these paddlers.
Yep, definitely. Plus 3 seconds, so he's got some work to do. He has to have a really good bottom. It is possible. There's a lot of time in this bottom section. Got to nail it.
Yes. Just to make sure he hits both poles. But 30 athletes here, just 10 go through. We're a third of the way through this race, this semi-final. And at the moment, Luka Bozic sitting pretty at the top of the leaderboard with that 100.56 time. And that's a bit of a challenge now for the remainder of the field to try and get under that. Nicholas Geston sitting in second and Yuri Priskovic sitting in the 3rd spot. But anything can happen. It's just such a challenge. Oh, goodness me, got stuck there too, Robert. Lost a bit of time, so he slips out of finals contention, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, tough run, fighting the water a bit, never easy, especially on this course.
So what's the plan for the Australian team, Brodie? You'll be over here, you'll do the first 3 World Cups. Is the plan then that you'll stay over in Europe, or you head home for some training?
Yeah, for the first time ever, I think, we're heading home mid-season, and the course will be running in Penrith, so I'm looking forward to it. A little bit of a break, get back to routine, friends, family. So we go home for about 5 or 6 weeks, then come back for the last 3 races of the season.
So they've just done a little bit of a redevelopment at Penrith, haven't they? Tell us what's happening there.
Yes, happening right now, actually. They're redoing all the gate system, fixing, bollards, concrete that's cracked, redoing footpaths, putting floodlights in now, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
So night sessions are possible. Just a bunch of things like that. Pump maintenance and just a complete revamp.
And by the way, I should mention that on the course at the moment we have Matej Marinic from Croatia, who's going fast. This has been a nice run.
Yeah, he's flying. Really. Sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, different sort of paddler to what you normally see. Bit of a taller guy, long levers.
Is that a positive or a negative? I mean, when you look at guys like Matej Marinic and guys like that, Alexander Sapkowski, they're all tall guys. Is it an advantage or a disadvantage? I mean, you're quite tall as well, Brodie.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be less tall guys, but there's tall guys doing it really well. So hard to say.
Got to get down a little bit lower, don't you? Got to bend down a bit further to get under some of those poles. So this has been a good time here. I think we're going to be challenging for the lead here.
That's really fast because Bozic has gotten that penalty off. So he's 100 now. Yes,
indeed. So Marinic is through second fastest with an asterisk, but that's a good time. Wow.
Wow, that's with a touch. So a 99. Fast.
Yep.
Great run.
So Bozic has a 2-second penalty. Marinic has a 2-second penalty, so both of those guys would be sub 100 with raw time, which is pretty good.
Yeah, times are tumbling.
Now, the Italian Paolo Cetron is on the water. I was going to say, sorry, Brodie, all of this, of course, Penrith needed a bit of a spit and polish, but of course, we're super excited that we've got the World Championships there in 2025. How much fun is that going to be? Yeah,
awesome. So good. There's nothing like a home ground advantage in canoe slalom, that's for sure. So we're very much looking forward to it, and it's great to get it out of Europe, They love it here, so get them on our ground.
Yes, and let's see if the Europeans, they won't dare complain about having to travel all the way to Australia, given you guys do it every year, and this year you're going to have to do it a couple of times. So suck it up, everybody on the other side of the world.
That's right.
Welcome to the life of the Australian, New Zealand, Japanese, Chinese team, because they have to do it every single year. So Chetron, big touch there on gate 9.
Great start to the run. Needs to kind of pull it together on this bottom section. Not losing a little bit in the middle. Opting for the up in the middle, which is kind of the safer move. Not the quickest, but it's not the slowest either. So it's an interesting decision, that one.
Would you be more likely to do it in a semi to try and just give yourself more of a chance to get through to the final without taking that risk?
I think so, yeah. I think in the final, you've got to go for that S, because if you land it, it's lightning fast.
Yep. So Chetron's a good time, but just outside the top 5, so it'll be tough there for him. In fact, coming in 5th at the moment, so not a bad run, but
just off the mark, really.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to have to see times around the 102 to be in the mix for a top 10, I think, given that we've had a couple of raw times. There he is, the man with the hair. Look at that.
The hair.
He loves that hair, doesn't
Luscious.
he? He loves it. The flowing locks of Mr. Tristan Carter.
Yep, very nice start.
Tell you what, don't you bloody touch that pole with your hair, Tristan. There'll be hell to pay. How's he been paddling in Penrith?
Yeah, he's been paddling well. These guys have done a couple of weeks in London as well, so they're definitely, I guess, acclimatised, not jet lagged. So 1.5 seconds up. It's looking good.
And reviewing gate 5, maybe it was part of his flowing locks that hit the pole on the way out. I hope not.
It looks like he had some trouble there. Hopefully all clear. We'll wait to see. So far so good though in the rest of the run.
He's really improved, hasn't he, Brody? I mean, you'd know it better than most because you race against him so much in Australia, but he's really improved over the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, he has. And just as you see there, swapping. Dan definitely revolutionised us all in Australia, I think. None of us used to swap, and he started beating us all, so we all decided we probably should swap. And now we all do it, and Tristan does it very well.
Yeah. And I'm sure Dan's watching, by the way. Dan, hope you're going well, mate. We miss you.
Yep.
He took the decision to step away after good performance in Tokyo, but I think he's pretty happy with his choice.
Yeah, I think... he had other things that he still wanted to do, and I think he hasn't looked behind. He's loving life. But 50 seconds going on in gate 5 there for Tristan, absolutely spewing.
I don't know whether we'll have a chance to have a look at the replay, because check out that raw time for him.
It's close, solid run.
He's not sure. I'm sure that Sarah and the team,
they'll be looking into it.
They'll be in the box. They'll be in the box quick smart.
We didn't get a clear visual, did we, from the feed? So.
Is there an asterisk still there? There's no asterisk there, but I'm sure with a 50 they normally review it anyway, won't they? So
yeah, it was being reviewed during that run, so we'll wait to see.
Yeah. Now, Ryan Wesley from the strong GB team. Again, another top bloke off the water, but always gives it his all on the water.
Yeah, it can be so fast. Had some issues over the last few years with injuries, I believe, because we haven't seen much of him.
No.
But he was lightning back when he was around, and racing consistently. So hopefully he can get back to that.
Yeah, he missed a lot of racing. Was it a wrist? I can't remember now what his injury was, but it was enough to keep him off the water for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm unsure, but he was gone for a while.
Of course, Team GB for so long based around David Florence and the team there. They were so strong, and now we've seen Adam Burgess and co stepping up. There's a big touch, unfortunately. Again with the tail of the boat. But there'll be some hot competition.
Oh, geez, did well there to keep that clean.
There'll be some hot competition for Team GB for the team for the World Championships as well, you'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam was reigning supreme there for a while, but I think Ryan's back with a vengeance. So
just to put a bit of pressure on.
Yep.
To keep them honest.
Absolutely, that's what you want.
Not quite going to plan here, though, unfortunately for Ryan. He was quick there for a while, but he's lost a bit of time. Still looks good down the bottom part of the course, but
getting nailed in that stopper at the bottom.
Just now slipping out of contention, I don't think that's going to be good enough. Unfortunately for Ryan Wesley, he still has an asterisk. Joe Clark looking on there, he's thinking, wow, I've already got my medal, I'm just going to go check on it, make sure it's safe.
Him and Ryan are close training partners, so I'm sure he's feeling it with him.
So we are now, we've had 16 athletes on the course. What's wrong, Jules? A Frenchman never smells, so don't worry about that. A couple of guys now. There's a few risks being taken up at the top of the course, and it's not paying off for most of them. But he's fast, isn't he, across the water, Jules?
He is. Yeah, look at that. Still 2 seconds up.
Yep. So we know that people are capable of going under the 100 because we've had 2 athletes go under 100. In fact, 3 athletes, because the Pole Hedwig, he with 6 seconds in penalties would have gone under the 100 mark. So we know it's possible. But risks need to be taken. I know, Brody, it's not the sort of course you want to take too many risks, I don't think.
Yeah, it's just there's sort of 3 or 4 really tough moves where you've just got to be on it, and it's hard to be on it for one move in this game. So you've just got to be so good. Just a little touch there. That's one of them.
So a lot of green there still for him.
Yeah.
So he's still fast.
Lightning fast run. Geez, that's quick.
He's very good.
That's the best upstream we've seen, I think, there, as opposed to the S.
So, oh, look at that. He's just 0.08 outside. Oh, but he's gone low. This is the Ricardo front move. Don't get... Oh, no. Oh dear. Oh, he had that race in the cusp of his hand, and it's just all gone pear-shaped.
Unbelievable. And that's one of those waves that changes a lot, and it probably greened out a little bit on him and just didn't get what he expected.
Well, the canoe has paid the price. Been given a bit of a rap over the bow for misbehaving, but I don't know that was the canoe's fault. Tough one, because he was on track.
Yeah, that was quick.
He was on track to possibly go under the 100.
Yeah, with a couple of touches.
Yep.
Whoa!
Kasper Stuber now from Poland.
Getting held up, and I think a touch as well, so he's going to have to go now. Yep.
Former junior world champion Kasper, so been on the senior circuit for a little while now. Very strong young man. Look at him. Look at those arms.
Yeah, pretty well built.
Yep.
He's got a bit of a tough start. 4 seconds of penalties. Oh,
make that 6. Oh,
whoa, whoa!
Oh, no!
My
Goodness me, that is not the way to go. But he went through the gate. Don't go back, mate. You're safe. You're all right. He thinks he's got to go
far
back.
Out. That was over the ledge too. That was full on.
That is hitting it. That is hitting it. He looks a bit dazed. I hope he's okay. He looks...
Yeah, I was wondering about his head there. Don't know how shallow it is, but...
Well, yeah, I was going to say, do you know if it's... He looks a bit... He looks like he's not quite sure where he's going or what he's doing. Look, he hasn't missed a gate since. But we have not seen that happen all weekend.
Jeez. Yep, that was an Augsburg special, that one.
It really, really was. The incredible thing was he went through the gate still. He went through the gate still. He had no idea where he was going. Didn't know what day of the week it was.
The head was out, but it was underneath the boat.
Yeah. Is that allowed?
Good question.
Yeah, one for the judges.
Yeah.
They have to put down their muesli now and check that out and pull out the rule book. What happens when an athlete goes through the gate upside down? Because... I assume that.
I think that's fine.
Must be fine.
As long as it's not underwater, yeah.
It doesn't matter if your head's...
That's a party trick, that one.
That is. He'll take that. He'll get the show reel for that to show everybody. Good on you, Kasper Stuber.
Yeah.
Hats off to you, my friend, because you did not pick up a single penalty after that. Look at him. He looks like he's been 3 rounds with Mike Tyson.
Great effort to finish off.
Really was.
Here we go.
Here we go. Well, look at this.
Paddle hits the ground.
Look at that. That is very unusual approach to a gate.
The boat disappeared.
And look at that. He's fine. Ooh. He was fine. Yeah, don't give him a penalty for that. Oh, yeah, look at that. He's got the flap in his eyes. Doesn't know where he's going. What am I doing?
Oh, we've missed half of Benny Safsek's run.
Well, what we know is that he's fast.
Yep.
And he's got no penalties, I don't think, although we'll see. Oh, there we are. I've got to stop saying it. Somebody said to me yesterday, can you stop saying people are doing well and don't have any penalties? Because the minute you say that, people are picking up penalties. So shut your fat gob.
That's always the way.
Aussie moron is what I think the person said to me. So.
Well, yeah, with this man's history, touches don't really bother him as far as final time. So
I've taken that feedback on board. So Benny Safsek, of course, the Olympic... See, I've just done it again.
Oof.
Olympic champion, of course, meant so much for Slovenia. He was up there for a while in the same sentence as Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, Benny Savsek, two of the biggest names in Slovenian sport, and there's probably a tennis player or two. I think, in fact, isn't the reigning Tour de France champion of Slovenia as well? For a country the size of a postage stamp,
Yeah,
they punch well above their weight in terms of international sports stars.
And this was a very nice finish to the run.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
4 seconds in penalties, and he's going to be in. Look at that.
Third.
Benny. Don't you worry about that, my friend. I think we'll see you. Well, actually, I don't want to say it because I've already been told off for bold predictions and spoiling people.
I think he's safe there.
You think
That's
he's
my
safe?
prediction, yeah.
All right. He's third at the moment. And we've still got 10 athletes to go. So now, talking about athletes from tough countries, Marko Murgorodsky, who's been such a good paddler for so long, but he's had Alexander Slavkovsky, he's had Matej Benouche,
Michael Mardigan, the GOAT.
The GOAT, the man who refused to get out of anybody's way. Everybody keeps saying, can you retire already? And he'd go out and say, no, I'm going to win a couple more World Cups and go to a couple more Olympics. So he did.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he could. I wonder whether we'll see him on the circuit this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's a couple of years younger than me, and he just dominated age groups, juniors, under 23,
Yeah.
world champion.
And you know, don't you, Brody, that if he was competing for nearly any other country, he'd be at the Olympics.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
challenging for a medal. So he gets his chance today to show us what he's made of.
Yep, so far clean.
So yeah, yep, there's a review underway. So the time we're looking at, because we're heading now down towards the qualification, I think this is the last athlete before we get into the top 10. So at the moment, Luka Bozic is on the top of the leaderboard with a time of 100.56.
We'll see that sub-100, I'm sure of it.
We will, for sure, in the final. Maybe it'll be Sidiris Tassiades on his home course. There's a few athletes who are very capable of going under the 100, that's for sure.
Yep.
This man is as well, by the way. If he nails the bottom half, it's not going to be today, though, I don't think.
Just got that 2 seconds confirmed on gate 3 too.
So sixth, I think it's going to be a bit tough for you, Marco. A bit of a nervous wait now for you to see if you can get through. But you're going to need. Now, here we go. The man who keeps telling me he's retiring, and then I turn up at an event and there he is.
Why? Like a fine wine. Why would you?
He really, really is. And last year he came out and he won some World Cup medals and showed us that he's still got. There he is, the big 4 in front of his age there, 40, but age is but a number. Just for him, it's just this. I mean, for a guy to be as good as he is and never get to an Olympics would be a sad story. This must be his last chance to go to an Olympics.
You'd think so, surely, but he's still just so quick.
Isn't he quick?
Yeah.
I mean, out there at Liptovsky Mikulas, where he does a lot of his paddling and just puts in the hard yards all the time, and Bratislava putting in a lot of work and always formidable on the water. And you can see, Brody, look at that time.
Yeah, this is nice. It's been really smooth.
Oh, here's your sub 100, folks. Here, I shouldn't have said that. Shut your fat stupid Australian.
We'll know after this section.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look at this, Alexander Slavkovsky, folks, just giving us a little bit of a lesson for the young folk out there. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
Don't do silly stuff. Oh, nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Very nice.
This is fast.
He's going to smash the 100. If he holds this together, we are going to be mid-90s almost the way this is going. This is a really... Oh, he's all right. That's good. Off the wall.
Yeah,
the wall.
no, that's solid. This is quick.
So Alexander Slavkovsky, the grand old man, and I use that word advisedly, of... Ooh, look at that. He's through, but he's under 100. Look at that, folks. Yeah. Stand up and applaud.
Floating to the finish.
This fantastic athlete from Slovakia, one of the nicest guys you're going to meet off the water as well. Gives him a bit of a way. Yeah, congratulations. Well done, Alex. A nod there of appreciation. Look at me, I'm into another final. Good on him.
Unreal.
he has got a Q next to his name. He's the first person. Oh, Timo Trummer picks up a 2 seconds straight away on gate 2, which is proving to be a bit of a nightmare for a lot of athletes. So Timo on his in front of the German home fans.
Yeah, he'll be looking to get into that final. Doing it for the home crowd.
Yep. And a good crowd for it's a Saturday, of course. Last year in World Championships, it was standing room only. Oh, he's missed that altogether. Is he going to go back? He's going to go back, but that's
costly, that one.
Yeah, yeah. Just did not get the line right. Maybe he saw Casper's run when he went down there upside down. Didn't want a repeat of that. It's going to be the highlight of the day so far. So a bit of work now for Timo Trummer to go. He's got 6 seconds in penalties, and when you look at the time to beat for him to get straight into the final, he's got to go. He's virtually got to go under 100, Brody, to book that finals ticket right now, because Luka Bozic is sitting there on 100.56, and there's another 2 seconds. So there's your final gone, unfortunately for Timo Trummer.
Now he's just gonna do it for the fans.
Of course, there's the German C1 team with Sidiris Tassiadis and Franz Anton. A couple of formidable canoe paddlers there you've got to deal with to try and get a crack at the World Championships and the Olympics.
Yeah, those guys are so good on Augsburg too. It's ridiculous. Just like they were formidable last year at World Champs, weren't they?
Yes, they were. Fortunately for Timo, it's not getting any better for him down the bottom of the course. So no finals action. He'll be able to watch it from the stands with the rest of the fans this afternoon. Timo Trummer crosses the line now, well below his best for sure. Shake of the head there, disappointment for Timo Trummer, but he'll live to fight another day.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of Irishmen and fast Irishmen, Liam Jagu, who does spend a lot of time in Po, but he's so exciting to watch and fantastic to see him with a crack at the potential final here.
Yeah, absolutely. He's made a few finals now in his time. He can be super fast, very fast and whippy, and can be radical to a bit like that. Bring the nose around.
Oh, look at that. Don't worry about that. I know where I'm going.
Yeah, just almost not being able to get the nose around, just straighten up through that gate there. Same as the one before.
Tell you what, it makes me feel a bit seasick watching him paddle. There are bits and pieces going everywhere.
Yeah, he needs to settle the boat and just try and just fly down this bottom section now.
Yep. So they're reviewing gate 2. I thought it looked all right, but judges have got much better angles than Brody and I have got here. We were just watching with the naked eye, but at this stage, he lost a little bit of time. He was fast early, but he's
still in touch just.
Yeah, the time he wants to beat. So Luka Bozic is through to the final. The next time, it's Marinic from Croatia, who is a 101.75. Is the time for Liam to beat. I don't know that it's going to be in that area, but can he get himself into a top 10 position? I don't think so. Unfortunately, he's lost a bit of time, hasn't he, down the bottom?
A few small mistakes at the bottom, just tenths of seconds adding up.
Yep. So no final, I would think, for Liam Jagu. Goes in 9th, and that's not going to be good enough, I don't think. With the quality of paddlers still to come, there would have to be a lot of mistakes made by a lot of very good paddlers for Liam to make it through to the final 10.
Yeah, a solid result with that mistake, though. That was a significant mistake. Good effort.
Vaclav Chalupa, of course, world champion from 2021, when he really made the world sit up and take notice. Didn't get to the Olympics. Of course, Lucas Rowan picked him for the Olympics. But here is a young man who we know the Czechs are good, don't we? And we know that they're always going to bring their A game.
Yeah.
And I think the name Yuri Prisovic would be making some of these younger paddlers work just that little bit harder right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They seem to have pretty good camaraderie in that team, though.
Yep.
Like, I talked to Vaclav about selections. Like, yeah, it was pretty positive about it all. Excited that Yuri was paddling, and they love the challenge.
Just good for them to have someone with all that experience as well. Just, he might not be the cleanest canoe paddler out there, but just to have that experience to be able to pass on to these young guys.
Right. Different ways to do things, and different ways of looking at stuff. It's good.
So good run so far from Vaclav. He's clean, which is important. At the moment, so Marinic from Croatia is through to the final. He'll be super stoked about that. So it's Benny Savsek, the Olympic champion, who is now on the cusp with a time of 1:03.
He's very much in touch. This is a classic Vaclav run, very nice and smooth. Looks very within himself. Just even went fast.
So a couple of gates to go for Chalutka from the Czech Republic. He's going to go in. He's going to be straight into the final with a crackerjack time. Wow, yes. That is clean and fast.
Wow, fast on the bottom. 1.5 seconds on the bottom.
Yeah. He will give the final a big shake this afternoon because we know he's good under pressure. So Chalutka is through. Now, Franz Anton, another who desperately wants to get back to the Olympics. Oh, Franz. Oh, no.
It ain't over yet, though.
Wow, it's going to be tough, though, because he definitely touched gate 1. I saw it, so I think you'll find it with a 2-second penalty up there. It is confirmed. And then lost time on the next gate, so...
This will be interesting. +5. I'm excited to see what he can do here. He'll go for it.
He will. He's got no choice.
Yeah.
He's got no choice. He needs to pin the ears back here and really throw down something special.
And on this course, I think he can find that time. Or close to it.
Yep. So now still Benny Savsek is still the time to beat for a direct berth into the final. That's the 1:03. I don't know that he can go into 1:03, but if he can sort of let the top, let's say the 8th position, it's about 1:04, so it's going to be tough.
Yeah, hasn't made anything on the middle. He's going to have a really good bottom.
So Franz Anton. Oh, there it goes. Fortunately for Franz Anton, that will be the race.
Yep, nail in the coffin.
Yep.
8:15.
Which will be disappointing for him. He always puts it out there, and again, another the blokes that you just love to spend time with off the water.
Yep, always got a smile on his face.
Decent guy. Great photographer too, by the way. I think some really good pics. And working hard, by the way, to get some new avenues for canoe photography up on, and always exciting to see what he can bring to the table. But unfortunately for Franz, there will not be any finals action. He's 12th at the moment. He was just at the top of the course there, Brody. Just lost it there.
That's rough, isn't it? First gate. It's almost over in the first gate. That's tough. Good finish, considering.
Now, will his teammate know what the situation is? I'm sure he could hear the commentary, so he'd have a pretty good idea that Franz, and there goes that siren. No bells today. Siren.
Yeah. This man is almost superhuman on this course. Like, it's ridiculous at times. We'll see how he goes today. He finds time where he just cannot see where he finds it. It's like magic.
He won the world title here last year. He picked up the bronze in the Olympics. So always super fast. So Benny Savsek is through to the final, which is good. Nice to have the Olympic champion in the final.
Yep.
The man now watching on nervously is Nicolas Gaston from France.
Oh, I would be nervous if I was him.
Yes, yeah, I would be too. His time is 1:03.37, and he has to rely on Tassiadis, Banouche, Avaldi, Burgess, or Royson to stuff it up.
5.
Yeah. So Sidiris Tassiadis. Bit of water in the face, doesn't seem to bother him too much. Look at that move.
So tight.
That's okay. Might have picked up a little bit of time there, which would be useful for him.
Interestingly, going to the ups. Almost letting go of the paddle for a second there. Still clean though. Oh, John Sebo, I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. Okay, now all of a sudden this is getting a bit tricky for him.
Yes.
We saw Andrea Herzog, the reigning world champion in the women's canoe, fail to make the final. Sidiris Tassiadis, you are going to have to work hard, my friend. We know he's fast. We know he's strong. Is he going to get there? It's going to be very, very close. I think he's going to be just...
He's in. Fifth.
Fifth. He's qualified, and he will know that he can improve a lot on that run because he made a lot of mistakes.
He did, yeah. didn't look as easy for him as it usually does, especially on Augsburg, but that probably means that the final is going to be excellent. We'll see.
Yeah, yep. Now, from Slovakia, Matej Benuš has been around for a while. 5th last year at the World Championships, 6th in the Olympics, 10th in the World Championships back in 2021 in Bratislava. Overdue for some gold for Matej Benuš.
Yeah, super consistent and good battler.
Again, one of the tall men on the course.
Yeah, really big guy.
Bit of a rock star back home in Slovakia. Always see his picture in the social pages, hobnobbing with the upper echelons of life, as you do, Brody, back in Penrith.
Mate, I wish.
Yes. Clinking glasses with the Hemsworths and that of the world. Good time so far. He's just out. So who's on the cusp now? It's still Nicola Geston, who is sitting there on the 103.37. So Matej Benuš is, they're reviewing gate 7. Did you see the touch?
No, I didn't see that. Interesting. Very nice through that stagger. Very controlled. Made it look easy.
Always looks to be within himself, doesn't he?
Yeah, that touch confirmed on 7. So he'll need a push here.
So 3.5 seconds out from the top time now, which is the 99 set by his teammate, his Slovakian teammate Alexander Sapkowski. The time he needs to go under, Brody, the time he needs to go under is a 103.37. I think he's going to do it. He'll be through, straight through the final. Straight through to the final for Matej Benuš. Again, another athlete who I'm sure knows that he can pick up some time in the final.
Yeah, absolutely. The final's looking pretty stacked with some big names at the moment.
It really, really is. Rafael Evaldi, who was very good in the heats.
Very nice 1-2. Great start to the run. Very nice.
It is still Nicola Geston who is, if he has any fingernails left, he'll be chewing them again right now, because that final, it's on the line, 103.37. Ooh.
Oh, very tight.
Oh,
no.
And there's a touch with the back there, so now he'll know he needs to put in some work. No easy options now for him. He has to go the hard way and really try and find some time somewhere.
Yep, gotta lay it down now. The next split will be interesting. Coming up on it now. 2, 3.
Yeah, ooh, it's going to be tough.
Yep.
That is going to be, look, it's the time between Slavkovsky and Geston, though, there is 3 seconds there, so he's going to be on the lip. He needs everything to go right, though, here, Brody, because any mistakes, any lost time here, and it's over for him. So Rafi Evaldi from Italy.
Yep.
103 just 103. Let's go with a 103.37 is the time he needs to beat.
Another touch. Didn't see that, but 18 on the upstream.
So that will be it, I think, unfortunately, for Rafi Evaldi from Italy. One more gate to go, and unfortunately he's not going to be inside the 103.
Yep, coming undone a little bit at the bottom.
Yep. So good news for Nicolas Geston from France. He is through. But for Evaldi, that is no finals action today for him. So you know who's next on the lip, don't you? You know who's now waiting nervously.
Oh, no way. Yep. Who is it, Ross?
Yuri Priskovic is sitting there waiting to see if he's going to make a final, but it's going to take Adam Burgess or Luca Rossin to do something silly.
Touch on gate 3 for Adam.
Right, so Adam Burgess, he needs to go under 103.7 to knock Yuri Priskovic out of the final.
In his first World Cup, going to see one.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't even want to think about the possibility of that happening. But Adam Burgess is super fast, and he was great in the qualifying. He's been paddling really, really well. I would like to think that Adam Burgess would have a 103, sub 103 in him today.
Yeah, comfortably. Comfortably has that in him.
No mistakes yet for the man from Great Britain. I think Yuri's best chance is Luka Rosin, who hasn't been in this level of racing and in a semi-final position, looking down the barrel of a finals position for a long, long time. So that might be Priskovic. Oh, a touch there for Adam Burgess.
Come on, Adam.
He needs to pick this up. He's got to go under 103.7. Not the fastest bottom part of the course, is it? He's lost a bit of time.
Yeah, oh, he's back a bit now. What are we at? 6 seconds.
Ooh, it's going to be... Oh, no. No. Unfortunately, I think that's the semi-final over for Adam Burgess, which means one thing.
Wow.
Hard to believe.
It is hard to believe. It's unbelievable.
Hard to believe that Yuri Priskovic, in his first World Cup in a canoe, is into a final.
The fairy tale is alive, Ross.
I mean, tell me, folks at home, that fairy tales aren't true. Tell me fairy tales don't exist, because Yuri Priskovic, who's laughing now?
This is Yuri Priskovic's movie, and we're all starring.
We're all just bit players in it.
That's right.
We are bit players in it, because he'll be sitting there laughing his head off right now. Lucas Rosen, what have you got for us, young man? You were awesome, absolutely awesome in your qualifiers.
Yep. He's got the speed, we know that. It's just whether he can control the nerves, I guess.
Yeah, Marko Bergorotsky is the man watching on with a time of 104.2. Oh, he's fast at the top. He's backed up his speed in the qualifiers with a very good start to his semi.
Yeah,
104.23 is the time that he needs to go under to knock Marko Bergorotsky out of the final.
Oh, so far he's looking very nice. Well,
really good.
That.
Wow, where have you been for the last couple of years, Lucas? It's great to see you back. Show us what you're made of, young man.
In touch on this split. Went 6.
Yeah, that's well within the range. He's got some wriggle room, which is good. He's got some. He can even almost make a mistake here. He can almost pick up a 2-second penalty and still be in the mix because he's fast.
Yep. He looks so composed. Actually, he looks like he's on it.
This will be fantastic if he can keep this together. 2 good runs on this course in a canoe.
A little stuck in the S there, but obviously that's not going to bother him with that.
Hey, look at that time. He's well within it. He's well within qualifying range. So as long as...
Oh no!
Gee, how much time did he lose there? I don't...
Oh, 3 seconds maybe?
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay still. I think he's going to be okay. It's 104 he's got to go under. I think he's going to do that. So I think he's sneaking in. Yes, he is.
Wow.
He has snuck into the final.
Unreal. Great effort.
My goodness.
How often do you see that on the last couple gates, you know?
I tell you what. But that is why we love this sport, is it not, Brodie Crawford?
Yep, it's always exciting. And that was certainly an exciting semi-final.
It most certainly was. And we've got in the lineup for the final some of the biggest names in the sport. And a couple of surprises. What do you think? Let's have a look at that top 10. We've got Slavkovsky, number 1. Chalupka from the Czech Republic. Bozic, Marinic, Tassiades, Banush, Savsek, Gestin, Priskovic, Roizen.
Pretty much got all the big guns there, plus a couple of young guns.
And
the up-and-comers and the...
And an old bloke who shouldn't be there because we've never heard of him in canoe before. And there he is.
Yeah.
He's in the final. Look at that. Unbelievable. What did you think of the quality of that semi-final, Brodie?
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. Lots of really good runs. Penalties making the difference, like we've seen all weekend. Yeah, those staggers, the one under the bridge and then the 15-16, they are the make or break for this course.
Sets the scene for an exciting final. Having that quality in the final, knowing every paddler out there will need to really throw down something special. We're going to see some special paddling, I think. We're going to see some big mistakes, but we're going to see some excitement as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon almost every paddler, bar Yuri's, probably got a World Cup medal in that final. So
yeah, I'm not sure about Lucas Roizen. I don't know that he's...
True. He's got some under-23 World Championship medals, I know that.
Yeah.
I raced him.
Yes, there you go. Brodie, great to have had you here, mate. You kind of come back and join us for the final?
Yep, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it already. Thank you so much, Brodie Crawford from the Australian Canoe Slalom team. We hope you've enjoyed our semi-final action this morning. We've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. We've had some fantastic paddling. And let me tell you, folks, a little secret between you and me, the best stuff is still to come. Women's C1 final, men's C1 final. We'll be bringing it all to you very, very soon on wherever you're watching us today. We hope you're enjoying our coverage. Come back soon for gold medal action live from Augsburg, Germany. Over and out for now.